chances are, if you are looking at the city of Maricopa to call home, you are already overwhelmed with everybody's pros and cons or showing you the model homes but what you really want to know is what's it like to really live in the city of Maricopa? Because it's more than just living in those four walls, right? So let's break down the top 10 things that people want to know when they are moving to an entirely new city and what's it like to live in the city of Maricopa. And we're going to start with number one is going to be housing because the number one driver for the city of Maricopa has always been its affordability. It's always been just off the area known as the Southeast Valley, which is a ginormous technology hub and still is a major employment hub in very diverse industries. So if you are a traveler and you're going to be going to the airport, or if you like to shop and dine over the top, if you like the massive crowds, if you are looking for those corporate jobs, you are going to be driving into the city, if you want to call it that. Now, the city of Maricopa is conveniently located just south of Greater Phoenix area, just outside of the west part of Chandler, and I'm going to say also the furthest south part of Phoenix. That is called Ahwatukee. And if you take Interstate 10, it looks like it's south, but it's actually called east. That's so confusing. You're going to take the 347 exit. That is the one road in and out. So that's the bottleneck problem. We're going to get to that later, but I wanted to tell you kind of roughly where we are talking about so you can see, again, the proximity in relation to the amount of money you can save by buying a home in the city of Maricopa is significant. So we'll come back to the traffic later. But again, so we're located just south, about 35 minutes from Chandler or Ahwatukee. Now, there are older housing communities that are going to be right as you enter into the city of Maricopa. And there is 15 different builders or communities that are building in the city of Maricopa. And the great thing is, not only are these homes that start in the 200s, the high 200s, but many of the builders, many of the builders are offering below market interest rates. So a lot of people don't realize, like they're just maybe thinking, I can't afford until interest rates come down. You got to give us a call because let me tell you, consistently, we're locking in buyers at 4.99% to 5.5%, depending on the builder, depending on the concessions we get. You're going to have to give us a call because maybe home buying is in your nearer future than you thought. All right. So again, there's two different types of homes. Like I said, there's going to be the older homes that were built in the early 2000s. And I want to kind of forewarn you on those homes because those homes have endured our market crash that we did see in 2008 to 2011 really was our bottom here in the Phoenix area. And a lot of these homes sat vacant for a very, very long time. Now, they also went down quite a bit in value. I'm not going to hide that from you. It's all public record in Arizona. But here's the thing. We had a lot of investors that went into these parts because the housing was, if you think it's affordable now, it was really cheap back then. And so we do have a lot of rentals in these older communities. These homes, in my opinion, even in today, because fast forward now, right? We've been through all different kinds of markets since that recovery. But I have to tell you, it really, I'll say 1 out of 20 or 30 homes I show in that older part are what I would consider acceptable condition. We're talking about deferred maintenance. We're talking about not so pretty landscaping. We're just talking lower ceilings. We're talking narrower walkways and things like that. But the drive for those older homes are the fact that it's closer to 347, so where all the hustle and bustle is, if you want to call it like the main drag of the city of Maricopa. And builders back then were building ginormous homes. We don't see a lot of that. I'm talking like 4,000 or 5,000 square foot homes, 5, 6 bedrooms. So if you're looking for those really large homes, they're probably going to be in the older part of Maricopa. You got to make sure you work with us. Not only are we relocation experts, but we are resale experts, and we know what to ask for before you even go and look at the home. We want you to know ahead of time what you're going to have to pay in addition to the home, right? That's important. Now, new construction, Do we have connections and relationships with the builders out there? No, here's the thing. You're going to be a little bit further outside of town. But I'm telling you, this is just the beginning of the city of Maricopa. I mean, the city of Maricopa has actually been around for a very, very long time. In fact, it was the only train station in the early 1900s that stopped in this part of the Arizona area. There really wasn't even Chandler or hardly a Phoenix. It stopped in Maricopa. Not kidding you. That's how far back the history goes. But it's been just this little tiny podunk town for, well, 20 years. Well, about 22 years now. And they have just grown one of the top fastest growing cities in America. And yes, I did say city. They are not a town. So that comes, they're incorporated. And we're going to talk about taxes and costs also in a little bit because it makes a difference. Right now, they're at about 75,000 people. They're anticipating double that over the next 10 years. So with the more housing, it's nice to be kind of further out, if you ask me. I mean, yes, I know we all love those mature landscape areas. We love the large trees. We love the shade and everything, but we also love brand new construction that we have complete control over how it's been taken care of, right? And you have nothing to worry about for a really, really long time. Here's the thing, though, working with builders, and I'm sure you've seen this online too. There's a lot of craziness going on. In fact, one of my favorite Insta accounts to watch is a guy named Sci-Fi Inspections. If you haven't watched, if you're not watching him, he is in Arizona, not specifically to Maricopa, but he'll show you all the stuff that builders try and pull over the buyer's eyes. Well, let me tell you, we're right there with Sci-Fi. I think his name is Sci. And we're literally on a microscope. We're watching, and especially if you're building from the dirt phase, and it's going to be 8 to 10 months, we're going to be popping out there once a month for you and giving you an update. If it's a spec home, we've already done a lot of that work, and we also have our inspectors that already have been insured, bonded, medical care, like all the. Let me tell you, the builders make it tough to bring in the right people. They don't want to be caught red-handed, but that's why you got to give us a call, because we're bringing in the troops. All right, we've talked a lot about the housing. Again, you can get just about anything you want housing-wise. There's smaller 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the 1,200 square feet, which is great for retirees or early retirees that don't want those large homes to cool, especially. And then we also have some, I would say, medium-sized homes that are going to be somewhere around the 2,000 to 2,500 square feet. Here's the thing, guys. If you wanted to spend $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 on a new build, you're not going to find it that expensive in Maricopa. It's just not that expensive. All right, let's get past those homes. RV garages. Did I mention that? RV garages. Lots of RV garages. Let's get to number 2. We're going to talk about shopping. So here's the thing. In most of these other areas, in the greater Phoenix area, when you go more out to the burbs, right, it's mostly housing. And you have some of those community parks. And then you start to see, some shopping, but it's usually the big box stores. And I have to tell you, when you're talking about the smaller cities and the rural areas, this, in my opinion, hands down, even, it's not even my opinion, I think everyone's opinion, this is the most totality of a city outside of the Phoenix metro area. And what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, not 1 grocery store, not 2 grocery stores, but 4 grocery stores. And so far for 75,000 people, that's actually pretty good, because there's parts of the greater Phoenix area that don't have 4 grocery stores that serve that few of people. We have, in my opinion, Walmart. I love that Walmart out there see how I said out there? See, people that live in the Phoenix area think it's out there, but you would live there. Here's the thing, guys. I have placed over 60 different families in the city of Maricopa, and I stay in contact with everybody. And I asked them what their feedback was, and every single one of them said, I love all the grocery store choices now. Because again, even just 10 years ago, they didn't have this. So Walmart, amazing grocery store. They still have the fries and the bashes, and they're right there on the main drag. But the newest addition is Sprouts. And so with the Sprouts there and having that option, you have choices. And I love that. As far as like other kind of shopping, like we have our Ace Hardware. And I have to tell you, this is hands down the best Ace Hardware I've ever seen. The city of Maricopa just got their first Home Depot, and they're building Lowe's right now. But So this Ace was literally like an Ace Hardware on steroids. And every time I walked in there, and I obviously don't live in the city of Maricopa, I don't go in there a lot, but when I walk in there, they made me feel like they knew who I was. They're like, "Hey, how are you?" Like, so friendly. It was insane. And this one store had everything from hunting to fishing to hiking to camping to all the parts you need and your lawn or your pool. And you wanted for nothing at this particular Ace Hardware. All kinds of, there's now out there, there's the big box stores. You're going to have like Ross, you have all the AutoZone, you have, like I said, there's, oh my God, there's so many things. There's donut shop going in, there's coffee shops everywhere. Not only, we haven't even got to the food. I haven't got to the food yet. Okay. The point is you don't have to leave the city of Maricopa anymore to go and get this stuff. That's the whole thing. You have everything. You never have to leave, except for maybe work, which we're going to get to also. Okay. So again, shopping, massive shopping, dining. I like to compare. I shouldn't say I like to compare. I do compare. Many people compare the city of Maricopa to Santan Valley. And if you didn't see it, I have a video on that as well. Totally different. Honestly, you can't compare the two. It's a different look, a different feel, a different cost, a different experience. Completely different. The only thing that's similar is that it's in the Pinal County. But needless to say, the dining experience in the city of Maricopa, not only do you have every kind of fast food, which I know is no big deal, but like Panda Express, whoever came up with that idea, remember it used to just be in the malls and then they opened these little restaurants. Oh my God, they're just like the best.
As if.
Sorry, just have to say that. But we have not only that, but we also have a lot of mom and pop shops in the city of Maricopa already. And now we have the big corporate restaurants that are going out there. One of my faves is the Cold Beer and Cheeseburger Sports Bar. You can sit inside, you can sit outside, you can sit at the bar, you can watch a football game or any other. NASCAR is a big thing out here. And there is a new steakhouse coming to Maricopa. It's going to be called Duke's Roadhouse. That's going to be pretty dang cool. Now, I'm going to bring up number 4, schools, because here's my thing of the schools. There is a lot of academic focus in the city of Maricopa. It seems as though a lot of children are in IEP programs and special needs programs. It's going to be a very individual evaluation whether these schools work for you. But here's the thing. If you needed to have the additional care for your child, City of Chandler, which is only 35 minutes away from the main drag, you are going to find exceptional services and classroom environments. But I also have a client that has several special needs children. God bless her and their family. And she said that she has had a fantastic experience with the schools in Maricopa.
Excellent.
Here's the thing, guys, is when a builder builds a community, the first thing they do is build a housing, and then they start collecting taxes, and then some of those taxes go into the new schools, and then with the new schools also come new teachers and new programs, and all that takes time. So the schools that we see today weren't so great a few years ago, but they are getting top notch here. And if you break down the rating, if you go to greatschools.org and you break down the schools, they are evaluated in 3 different categories: test scores, college preparedness, and also the equity. So if there's not a lot of diversity and programs, then it might rate lower in the school. But again, because you have to build up that population. Am I wasting my time explaining this? So what I guess I'm trying to say is the schools that are in the city of Maricopa are steadily increasing every single year as the population grows. There is some fantastic pre-college ASU, the ag school that they have out there. And so for older teenagers, there is some amazing programs out there, not to mention the community center, which we're going to kind of segue right into that now. And we are going to talk about entertainment in all the different fashions. The first one I want to talk about is Copper Sky Community Center, because it kind of crossed over to that education. They offer so many programs for the kids, both during school year and also in the summer. This community center blew me away. Let's check it out. Jessie Lee and I had so much fun checking it out. I had to go for a quick run on the indoor track. you don't live in Copper Sky community, you can be a member, and it's so affordable. Like, this is the only city that I've ever seen that has something like this. Like, for instance, I can think of a couple of master plan communities that you have to live in that community and you have access to those clubhouse or community center kind of things. This is for the entire city. So you have the option to take advantage of, first of all, free daycare. It's not really daycare, but like up to 2 hours. If you're a member and you want to go work out, they'll watch your kids for 2 hours. 2 hours for free. There's no excuse for you not to be exercising. Everybody exercises here. It's one of the most active areas despite our summer crazy heats. The other time you have these kind of facilities to exercise on. And then of course we have the 9 months of pure heaven, right? But inside this community, not only do they have an amazing gym, and again, that's kind of like, okay, there's gyms all over the place, and there is, but indoor basketball. I thought this was the coolest thing. And there was all kids and different ages, and they had different kinds of programs for the younger kids. We went when it was school had just got out like the week before, but they still weren't completely open because it wasn't Memorial Weekend yet. And then they also have, like I said, the indoor track. No reason to not run. And I know many people hate the treadmill, although I like the treadmill. But this pool was insane. Not only do they have swimming lessons and they have a swim team, they have this amazing splash pad. And I wish I had been there to film for you guys on the weekend, maybe when the kids are running around and the waterfall was going, but use your imagination. They also have a big catch and release lake. And then they also have disc golf when it's not super hot outside. It is one of the most amazing community centers I have ever seen. Can we go back to number 2? Not really, but like, let's dream back. Let's dream back to number 2. I want to talk about all the retail and commercial that are coming in. Just because, again, it's all kind of around this Copper Sky area. So we already have the main drag where all the stores and restaurants and everything that's already kind of come into play over the last 20 years. The next 10 years, not even 10 years, over the next 3 to 5 years, it is going to explode over here by Copper Sky. You can just see all the dirt lots. It's literally over 300,000 more square feet of retail and commercial and restaurants. We also have more hospitals. The hospital, I haven't even got to the medical yet, but I mean, there's just so much that's not already planned, already approved, and they've started the groundbreaking. So it is going to be insane, all the things that are offered in the city of Maricopa. So not only do we have already like all the stores I talked about in Ross, and but they are building, I call it a Circle K mega, because it's a Circle K. I come from California. All we had was 7-Elevens. In fact, before I moved here, I didn't even know what Circle K was. So if you didn't know, it's one of those like quick stop things, right? But Circle K, and it's mega. So it's literally like a huge Circle K and like 16 gas pumps. You're never going to have to wait to get gas. There is so many, there's banks coming in, there's credit unions coming in, there's more hair salons, there's a donut place, there's an ice cream spot coming in. There is so much coming in. And let me tell you, it's going to be, I don't want to say a Tucson, and Casa Grande is big, but that's also because it's old. It is going to be one of the newest cities in every way you possibly look. If you want to be part of that newness, this is a great time to buy in the city of Maricopa. But there's just so many things going on. And I'm going to kind of now go straight back over to my entertainment. So the entertainment over by Copper Sky, this is my favorite part. And of course, you're going to laugh, but it's the casino. So I'm not a casino girl, but I have to tell you, every once in a while, you got to take a little adult break. So Jesse Lee and I ran over here and we put some 20s. Boy, that money goes fast. So at this particular casino, there's not only great restaurants, there's also an indoor, well, of course it's indoor. There's the rock and roll night, glow in the dark bowling alley. There's also some shopping in there. And you know what was really cool is all the people that come here for the staycations. And I'll bet you they have all kinds of summer deals, and they have an amazing pool. Like if you want like the lap of luxury and you don't want to drive somewhere to, in Phoenix or Scottsdale or whatever, I'd be all, honey, I could use a massage at the spa and a pool day over at the Ak-Chin Harrah's Casino. It was, I felt like I was going to Las Vegas. And yeah, they have a buffet. I don't know how much it is because, yeah, I got to watch my calories. So, needless to say, it is right down the street. And I have to tell you this too, the Indian tribe that's right outside of the city of Maricopa is very involved within the community. They do all kinds of different summer fairs and festivals and things for the children. They give back to the community quite a bit. They have a Christmas tree. Where you can buy live Christmas trees. I forgot to mention the community center also has events. Like they have things at Halloween, they have stuff at Christmas time. I think it was called Maricopa or something like that. It is, if you want to be part of a small town feel just outside big town, this is it. Like the city of Maricopa has absolutely everything you can imagine. If you also like just, fresh produce, there are some fresh produce stands. You'll find some of that, the honey on the side of the road that's locally raised, because you don't say grown, right? And so there's still that small town feel. Hopefully it doesn't grow up too big, because that's one of the charming things that I love about the city of Maricopa. Medical, there is now a hospital in the city of Maricopa. And although it seems like it's maybe a little on the outskirts, I'm telling you, in a matter of a couple years, it's going to be in the middle of it all. There's so much growing there. So the main part of the hospital is already built, and now they're extending. They actually just broke ground on that too. So it's going to be even more and more medical care. So when people talk about driving up to the Phoenix area, I just ask, well, why? There's only one reason you have to go up there, and that's to my next unfortunate number. And that's going to be number 7. And I'm talking about jobs. The city of Maricopa does not really have a strong industry or economy of its own, not one that has a lot of jobs. Yes, it was predominantly dairy, by the way. There are still some dairies, so you're going to have to pay attention to where they're located. Again, we know where they're located, so we'll make sure that we point that out to you, depending on which homes we're showing, like to make sure you're okay with it. The other part of it is, though, is there's farming. But again, these kind of things aren't necessarily the kind of jobs that you are possibly looking for. The 2 largest demographics of buyers that we have found that choose Maricopa are either going to be retirees, and those retirees, or just before retirement. This is great, like not having to live in a 55 plus community, because I'm telling you guys, even though it's a 55 plus community, it's more like you're going to feel at home if you're 75 plus. The 55 plus, I am over 55.
Yeah, I'm confused too. We're confused.
And I think I would like cause other people to have a heart attack just with my energy. Like I'd be talking to them, they'd be like, "Whoa," right? So, 55 plus is the minimum age. I would never say it's the preferred age. How's that? But this is a slower pace of living. And so if you're looking for that quiet city outside of a city, this is wonderful. We have a client that's coming in from Indianapolis area. Like she has to drive into Chicago for her doctor, like her main stuff, not to mention $7.50 every time she has to cross the bridge. So $15 every time she goes. We don't have those, by the way. We don't have those toll bridges. Not yet. We're still really young. We're a very, very young city. When you compare us to any of the other larger metropolitan areas, even like in Dallas, Austin, Chicago, Atlanta, like we're still small, old. I don't want to say old school, but the freeways are open and clean, and we just don't have that garbage, that buildup. We do have some air pollution. I'm not going to lie to you. We are surrounded by mountains, and then we are the flat valley. Now Maricopa is a little bit outside of that valley, but there are times when there's most of the time we don't have a lot of wind and we don't have a lot of storms, which is why, again, when we are dry, it gets very dry and our ground kind of like shrivels up, and when it cracks, right? And then when it rains, it just comes down, and then the ground swells, which is also why we build homes on post-tension slabs. That's another video, guys. We're talking about what it's like to live in the city of Maricopa. And needless to say, if you are looking for a technology job, nursing job, aside from that one medical hospital, you're going to be going up into the greater Phoenix area. The other demographic I was telling you is predominantly families. It's literally, so it's not like I can't see someone single by myself buying a home out there. It doesn't really fit my lifestyle. Now, again, there's a buyer for every home and a home for every buyer. So give us a call. We'll ask you a lot of questions that's going to lead you to, does this area work for you or not? So we have the retirees or early retirees on one side of the pendulum, and then the other one is young families or families, people that are about ready to have a family and they want to start that owning a home. Let me tell you, the one thing you can do for your own financial security is be your own landlord. When they talk about interest rates are going up and rental rates are going up and all these other things that are going up, if you own your own home, you have control. You know exactly what your housing costs will be every single month. And even if the market stayed flat for the next 20 years, which that never happens, and really mortgages are 30 years, over the 30-year period, you're going to be paying down your mortgage and earn appreciation. So this is a great place if you are starting your life together and you're going to have children. So for jobs, single income households, a lot of them in the city of Maricopa, and actually the median income in Maricopa is 102,000. So there are a lot of people that work at the tech jobs in Chandler, and whether it be the husband or the wife, they drive home, which leads me to the next part. I have some good news and some bad news. The transportation, well, it goes under the transportation bucket. Okay. Bucket number 8. 347 is a pain. It sucks. It's terrible. It's the number one negative problem with the city of Maricopa. Not gonna lie. But will it be like this forever? No. Because let me tell you, everybody's complaining. I'll just say it. Everyone's completely bitching about it.
What did you just say?
And it's going to change. And here is what's going on if no one else has mentioned it. Of course, they're going to do something about it. There's literally going to be 150,000 voters there in a matter of very short period of time. You don't think that the politicians are going to want to buy votes?
What does that mean?
There is an area that's going to be called the Green Road Loop. This is going to circumvent the downtown 347 area. And not that that's the only bottleneck, but that's the bottleneck that the city can control. Because here's the problem. 347, just to give you, again, the deep, the north part of 347 is in Maricopa County. Okay, so that's one voter, right? And then the closer part to the city of Maricopa is Pinal County. That's another voter. Let's add the trifecta. 347 goes straight through what? Indian reservation. And that's their land. So there's a lot of people that need to come together and figure out what to do. And the bottlenecks are there's 2 lights that are on 347 because you're going. And when I say going, I mean, like I was doing 80 on it and I felt like I was going slow, and that was in the slow lane. People just don't realize you're not going to get there any faster. Like, okay, maybe 2 minutes, but you're literally just speeding up to the light and waiting. And then you get to the downtown traffic. In fact, when you use GPS right now and you're trying to get to a different part of Maricopa, when you first come into town, more often than not, it actually takes you through the neighborhoods because that 347 in front of all the stores is an absolute nightmare. Not going to lie. It's painful. So if you work in the city, I would recommend see if you can work some swing hours, different shifts, mid shifts. If you're in retail, if you're working at Intel and the fabs, see if you can work anything but the normal commute time, because that 347 is just insane during commute time. So with the Green Road Loop, it was supposed to start in 2025. Unfortunately, they didn't raise enough money, so it's going to be 2026. So at least it's on the books. That's nice to know. Now, also, when that new loop comes into play, guess what else they're going to be building? More shopping and dining and retail and commercial. Like, I mean, the city is just going to blow up. I'm telling you guys. Here's the other thing that I love about Maricopa in reference to transportation. Here's the good news about transportation in the city of Maricopa. Are you ready? Because this is just going to blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. They have transportation services. This is just so forward thinking. Maricopa Express Transit. So MET, the Met, provides service around the city of Maricopa. And get this, guys, it's $1.
Crazy. Am I? Or am I so sane that you just blew your mind?
I'm telling you, the bus system in Phoenix is not this good, and it's not this clean, it's not this new. It's unbelievable. Now, it doesn't run all hours. It runs Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. So if you are working and in the main area and you live way out in the boondocks, you don't have to bring your car in. That's what the whole concept is. You could also do a park and ride, right? Or, catch it up to meeting somebody else and then maybe commute. What is it called? You're going to laugh at me. What is it called? Carpool. So I come from the Bay Area. And people carpool all the time. It's just not a thing in the Phoenix area because everybody here is so single driver focused. Like really we are. We don't have great transportation anywhere. But the fact that they have the Met here and it runs Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Children can even ride on this. You have to be over 8 years old. And they also have bike racks. So if you're riding a bike up somewhere, it's a downloadable app that you just go there. You can see the schedule. You can do cha-ching, whatever, as you get on the bus. I'm just telling you, if you ask me, that is so forward thinking for a small town. That's going to get me to number 9. What are the services like? I just talked about an amazing service that no other city has to offer. But here's the other services that I'm talking about. First of all, property taxes in Pinal County are slightly higher than Maricopa County. And by the way, yeah, I know that's totally confusing. Whenever you're looking up stuff, you have to make sure you're looking at City of Maricopa, not Maricopa County. I know, I don't know who did that. It's kind of crazy. Needless to say, Maricopa County's property tax rate is 0.64%. And in the city of in the county of Pinal County, and don't pronounce that wrong, in Pinal County, it's 0.75%. So it's a little bit higher, but here's the thing. It includes all the services that are needed. So that means like fire. Oh, they have their own fire department. Unbelievable. They have their own police department. Oh, unbelievable. They have their own. This is again where when I talk about Santan Valley doesn't compare to Maricopa, Santan Valley, those are not included in their taxes. You have to pay extra for fire, and police is rural, metro, and sheriff. So although they are progressing, actually, I think they actually finally did get a police department, but very slowly because they're a town, they're not incorporated. So in the city of Maricopa, this is why you get all these services. In fact, over the next couple of years, not only are you going to be seeing the massive growth of, again, all these buildings, but the roads are being widened already. We've already seen one overpass. I already mentioned about the new loop that's going to be coming in. This is all what that extra tax dollar means, and you still get exemplary services. And so on top of that, also you have this is going to blow you away. Water. There is their own water municipality. I could almost barely not say that. They have their own water district that is unique to the city of Maricopa. And the reason it is the city of Maricopa only is because the city of Maricopa is plentiful with water. Like it is, if there's one city that has too much water, it's the city of Maricopa. And this is like so hard to grasp. So in order for every single builder, if they're building 6 or more homes, they have to, which would be called the planned community, they have to submit to the Arizona Department of Water Resources. They have to show the path of 100-year water supply for each and every one of those homes, so that every homeowner is guaranteed that they're going to have 100 years of water, and then potential for it backing up even more. So the city of Maricopa today not only has that 100-year designation of the water availability, and that is based on, this is where it gets super, but I want you to hear these numbers because this just shows you how solid they are in this area of water supply. That 100-year water designation is based on using 23,000 acre feet per year. Just remember 23,000, okay? And currently at its building right now with 75,000, and already all the 15, did I tell you 15 other communities are being open right now? Like 15 builders going on right now. It's insane.
Is that even possible?
Just physics.
They are whatever. The city of Maricopa is only using 8,000 23,000 acre feet per year. And I don't know, understand. I get it, but I mean, that's all that math stuff. But anyway, so they're allotted 23,000, they're using 8,000. That's how, I don't want to say upside down, because it's like they have massive mega water to last them 2.5 times the size of the city they already have.
That's a lot of water.
And that's with the water conservation, also all the water that's stored underneath naturally by Mother Nature. Thank you. With all the aqueducts and water services, not the Colorado River, right? That's what everybody's the conversation about what's going on. This part of the Phoenix area actually does not use the water from the Colorado River. I won't say not at all, but not very much of it. That's not what serves this part of Arizona. I don't want to get too technical because I'm not a water specialist by any means. All right. And my last thing that I want to share with you, which is equally important to anyone that lives in any city, and that is safety. The city of Maricopa last year was ranked 4th safest city in Arizona, in the entire state. This year, 2024, number 2.
That's how I do it.
And I think a lot of that has to do with, again, everybody kind of comes together. It's a small community. Everybody's working together, and they are very proud. They're a very proud city, and they continue to grow. In fact, here's some other great things. So not only do they have a magazine that we'll make sure you get a copy of when you move here and use this for your realtor, but they also, can also be found online. There's a ton of information. It's in maricopa.com. And another little secret, what I might recommend is joining a couple of Facebook groups that are a bunch of residents that are from the city of Maricopa. If you are looking for a small town feel just outside of the big city, so you still have access to it, you got to give us a call, because I'm telling you, we know all the ins, the outs, we know the good, the bad, and I don't just tell you all the pretty stuff, because there's pros and cons everywhere. And here's the thing, only you will know what pros outweigh the cons and find the right place to call home. All right, guys, I cannot wait to hear from you. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, or weekends, we really got your back when moving to the Phoenix area. See you soon. Bye.